like I said, the oil breaks down and wears out.
There we go. There's the oil coming out.
We'll take care of it in the deposit.
You see the color on the color of the foil.
Okay, so this is
About
about.
close up. Put the key in.
Hello, this is Jose. Here I am again with my 2017 Mercedes S550 or W222. Today we're going to be doing the oil change, and I'm going to be showing you a couple of ways of doing it. One way is draining it the traditional way, the way it's been doing it since the engine was invented, I think. But so you drain it from the drain plug and you take all your oil out, or you pump it out, and that's the way the dealer does it, and that's the way many maintenance places do it. And they do it this way so that they make sure that the technicians that are working on cars don't forget to put the drain plug. So it is a little bit forgetful, I guess, sometimes when you're working on engines and cars every day, all day, and it's just something that you do it with, even with your eyes closed. So I guess they forget to put that little drain plug, and it's really, really bad for your engine to lose oil. If that drain plug is not back, you lose all that oil, and it could be catastrophic for your car. So that's the way. That's why they pull the oil out, and I'll be showing you that. So first of all, I want to talk about a couple of things that you have to do or don't do with your car. So you gotta create some habits with your car. You have to check your oil at least monthly and change it at the intervals the dealer recommends you or the manufacturer recommends you. So I do it a little more often. I check my oil a little more often just because I don't want to wait a month and then all my oil leaked out, or the majority of the oil leaked out. As I said, it's very important to have oil in the engine, and that's why I like to check it more often than usual. So this car calls for an oil change every year, 10,000 miles. I don't like to wait for a year. I've been with this car for 6 months, and I'm going to do my first oil change of this car. The first one was done at the dealer. I'm going to do this oil change now. So in doing my oil change, I'm going to be putting an additive, an extra additive is called Ceratec. And you'll see when I put it on the engine. And I spoke about that in my other video. So that's one of the habits you got to create. And another habit you have to create is when you start your car, when you first go in the morning, or when you first start your car and the car is cold, do not run it hard. That is something that is completely wrong to do with your engine. Your car needs to be warm before you run it hard, because that oil needs to be warm. It needs to be going through all the components, and it needs to be warm. And the temperature you see on the cluster is the temperature for the coolant. You don't see the temperature for the oil inside the car. So the coolant gets warmer faster than the oil. So the temperature you see there is the coolant, and the oil might still be cold. So don't run the car hard when you first start it. And another one is after you do a hard run, like if you like to speed, if you go for a hard run, don't turn your car off right away. Stay with the car on for a few minutes. That oil needs to rotate, needs to go through all the components, cooling it down. The oil also cools the engine down, not just the coolant. So both things working together will be cooling down that engine after that hot run. If you turn off the engine right away after that hot run, you first of all, those components don't cool down, and they wear down faster. Okay, so also that oil that stays right next to the hot parts, those burning parts, are gonna create this sludge with that oil, and the viscosity is gonna go down. So you got to be careful with that. Little habits that are gonna help you at the end, and so that your engine lasts a lot longer than it should. So oil wears down and breaks down not only with pressure and temperature, but it also wears down over time. So you have to change your oil. You have to make sure you change it, even if the car is just sitting for a few months or a long period of time. You have to change it. If you change your oil every 6 months and you didn't run the car for 6 months, change that oil, because, like I said, the oil breaks down and wears out with time also, not just with the pressure or temperature of, when you use the car. So keep that in mind. We're going to lift the car. We're going to do it the same way we did the transmission, and I'm going to lift it that high just for the sake of this video. You don't have to do it all. You don't have to do that. You don't have to go all the way up. But I'm gonna do it like that, so just so we can take a nice video for you guys, and you can see how it's done. I'm gonna put it on blocks, and you'll see. So here are some of the parts and tools we need. We're gonna be using the pump. Well, I'm gonna be showing you how to do that, how to work with the pump. We need the oil. We're gonna need 8 liters or 8.5 to 9 quarts of oil. Then we're gonna need the a power tool if we wanted to. It's not you don't really have to have this, but just to make the job easier, a little faster. Some flashlights. I'm gonna need number 8 to take the cover off on the bottom, and number 13 to take the plug off. Because the wrench, this is a torque wrench. The additive that I was talking about, Ceratec, the filter. Here's a new plug. I'm gonna change the plug. I saw the plug that is a little old, and you need a new washer. Even if you don't have to change the plug, but if you are changing it, there it is. And you always have to change the washer. Maybe you can get away without it just once, but change your plug. We're going to raise the car. Of course, we need some of those jacks and something to catch the oil. Make sure you recycle your oil afterwards. Okay, we're using 5W40 European formula. They recommend to use Mobile 1, and that's what we're going to use. Okay, so the car's up. You'll see how we put it up on the video that I made for the transmission. I'll put the link below if you want to see that video when I change the transmission oil and filter. So I have it on blocks, even though somebody commented and said, I can't believe you put your S-Class on 2x4s. But yeah, I'm doing this for the video just so I have more space below so I can show you guys what to do here and where to get to. So it's just for the video. You don't have to do this. You don't have to go through all this. It's a lot of work putting on those blocks, but you don't have to do it. I'm just doing it for the video so you could see down there. It'd be easier to make the video. Okay, so here's where our filter is. We're gonna take that out. Okay, we're gonna take the filter out. Here's where our dipstick is. In this case, of this car, as many of the tips that you're getting for this car are for any car. Maintenance on any car is the same. Everything is the same. All the maintenance is the same. The way the engines work are the same. We just have different sensors, different location on things, and of course the brand. That's all that changes. Everything works the same, different sensors, but everything is the same. So we're gonna take this off. We're gonna take this off. I just took this cover out, and we're gonna take these hose off. The air intake. Be much easier access to this filter. Okay. There we go. All right, so before we start with the procedure, with the oil change, we're gonna add the engine flush. I spoke about this on my on the video on how to keep the fuel system clean and all of that. So, and I'll put that also in the description. I put the link for that. So we're gonna add the engine flush. We're gonna clean the engine before we take everything out. We'll take care of all the debris, the little slush that is there, anything that's stuck to the middle. So, and to do this, so right before I put the car up, I run the car. I had it running at operating temperature, and this is what you're supposed to do. You have to add these with the engine warm, and you also want to take the oil with the engine warm. You don't want to do it with the engine cold. So that's why I say it's even when you check the oil, you have to be at a certain temperature. You have to be with the car warm. It's better to take it out when it's warm because the cold oil, it's gonna stick a little bit. It's gonna drain slow. So it's warm, it's gonna drain faster. And once we add this is liquid, very fine liquid. So we're gonna add it, and then we're gonna idle the car for about 15 minutes, 10-15 minutes. Okay, we're gonna add it to the oil. Let's see. We'll take care of any deposits. It'll be much better for the new oil. The new oil will perform better. It will prepare the engine for the new oil. Okay, so we're gonna close it. We're gonna run it, okay? Okay, so we're gonna start with the pumping method, and we're gonna pump it right out of the dipstick. Okay, so we get these out. And this is how they do it at the dealer, okay? So if you're gonna do it this way, you don't need to lift the car. Just pump the oil out, and the filter is right here. So you don't need to raise the car. It's much easier to do it this way, actually. You don't have to go under the car. So we're gonna start pumping. You're gonna see how the oil goes up. Let's see. And there we go. There's the oil coming out. And I don't want to take much of the oil out this way so we can see it below. Very easy to do. So the way I want to do this is every 6 months I'll be doing this way. And then after 6 months I'll be doing, well, the first 6 months will be this way. The next 6 months will be from the drain plug. If you have a pneumatic pump, all you have to do is connect the air and leave it alone. Just go around, take care of something else in your car, and the oil will be pumped out for you. There we go. It's very easy, very, very easy to do. So I said this is the most important thing on your car. This is the easiest part of your maintenance. Do the oil changes. And I would do it, and I do it, and I recommend you to do your own oil changes, because that way you know what kind of filter is going in, you know what kind of oil is going in. You have to make sure you put the right oil. You could do your research, and I don't know if there's anything better than what I'm doing, than what I'm putting in, but if there's anything better, then it's up to you. You could do what you want with your engine. That way you know what you're doing for your engine. So this is Mobile One. That's what Mercedes recommends, and that's what they use. Something else I forgot to mention that we need is this cap to remove the oil cap, the oil filter. So that's it. It's a 7.6 millimeter. And something you need to know is that this engine at least consumes a quart of oil every 600 miles. So it's normal for an engine to burn the oil. You're going to consume that. So you have to keep checking your oil, and always check it on the flat level. When you take your dipstick out, take it out, clean it, and put it back in slowly. Wait about 3 seconds and take it back out so you can read it and check if it's in between the min and the max. If it's between the min and the max, your oil is good. Try to keep it as close as possible to max, but don't go over max, because if you go over the maximum, it's bad for your engine. It's too much pressure. You could damage the engine, you could damage the catalytic converter, and you could damage seals because there's too much pressure in there. So it's better to be below the max. In between is perfect. And if you go at the minimum or below the minimum, you can put a quart of oil, but add it a little bit of the time. Maybe half a quart, and then check again. So the perfect condition for the car to check the oil is you have to have the car at 80 Celsius degrees or 176 Fahrenheit degrees. So if you were driving your car, you are operating temperature, what you do is you stop your car, you shut it off, and you wait about 5 minutes, open the hood, wait 5 minutes, and let it cool off just a little bit. Then check your oil. Make sure it's, like I said, in a flat surface. Take the dipstick out, clean it off, put it back in slowly. You don't want to put it fast, because it splashes the oil and it'll give you a false reading. So go slowly all the way in, count to 3, take it back out, and then that's your true reading. So let's see. This keeps taking oil out. I don't want to take all the oil out, so I'm gonna take it off. I want to drain the rest of it. I also like to drain the oil because there's a lot of debris that go on the bottom. Okay, I don't want to take all of the oil. Okay. Okay, so now we're gonna take the filter out and we're gonna drain the oil. We've ran the engine with the engine flush. We ran it for like 10-15 minutes. We took some of the oil out of there just to show how it's done from the dipstick. Now we're gonna do it. We're gonna take the filter out and we're gonna drain it from the bottom. Take the drain plug out. So let's start. Let's see how bad or how good that filter is. And we'll put this back. We're gonna torque it. Remember, everything has a torque spec. For the filter cap, it's 25 Newton meters. Okay, or 18 foot-pounds. Gotta make sure we do foot-pounds on this. 18 foot-pounds, okay? Or 25 Newton meters. Let's see how this is. I don't want to drip any of that oil anywhere, so here it is. It doesn't look that bad. It's a little hot. There's nothing in between. Doesn't look like there's any debris. Make sure nothing falls in there. Let's see. I don't see anything bad in here, so this filter's good. Okay. Well, the switch is not that old. Okay, it's been there only 6 months. And the oil doesn't look that bad either. Okay, it's a little brown. Always check what color your oil is. It's supposed to be either brown, dark brown, black, the most black. But if you have any milky looking oil, that could mean that you have some of your antifreeze going on your engine, on your oil side. Okay, so that could be bad for your engine. You have a leak from the antifreeze going into your oil. So we are good with this engine. Everything looks good. Let's put the new filter in. Make sure you put a new gasket on it. Here's the old gasket. We're gonna take these out. Put a little pressure on it and pull it out. There's a new filter. And look the same. All right. Mali filter is not a Mercedes-Benz filter, but this is a Mali filter. This is, and Mercedes use a lot of their products, so there's nothing wrong with using something from them. Okay, and what you have in there, by the way, this in here is a pressure valve. That's what's in there. If the oil ever, so the way this works is the oil goes on the sides, it goes into the filter, and it goes into the middle. So, but if this ever gets clogged because there's too much sludge, debris, and all that, it's not letting the oil in, the oil is going to go through the bottom, push that spring-loaded gate, and let the going through and let the oil through, so that there's always oil in your engine. It's bad oil, it's dirty oil. Yeah, it could be disgusting, could be bad for your engine also, but it's better than having no oil in your engine, because this is clogged and no oil is going around. So that's why this spring loaded gate is in there. And the other filters, that the seals filters for other cars, those metal casing filters, they have it on the inside. Okay, that's how that's the way that works. That's why you have this in there, and it stays locked in there. So that pressure gate is gonna let oil through the middle if this is clogged, if that ever gets clogged. So that's another reason why I like to change my oil more often than suggested. Okay, I want to do it on this car every 6 months. The other cars are suggested to be done every 4,000 miles. I do it every 3. I don't wait that long. So here's a new gasket. Don't forget to put your gasket on. Very important. It will leak as well. So you can use some of that oil to lubricate your gasket, your seal. Okay. Same old oil. I've used grease. I've greased it before, used a little bit of grease. And I was criticized on it, but there's not much grease on it. Hardly. It's not good to mix it, but how much are you mixing in there? Especially on the other oils, on the other filters, because the gasket is on the outside. It's not even gonna mix. So I like to put grease on those. It's easier to take the filter out the next time you do your oil change, so why not? And as long as you torque it, you'll be fine. Okay. If you don't know the torque specs on any filter, just tie it by hand, and that should be enough. But we do know the torque for this engine. So we're going to torque these to 18 Newton meters. Sorry, 18 foot-pounds. It's 25 Newton meters, but it's 18 foot-pounds. Okay, we have 18 foot-pounds. Okay, that's it. You heard the click? That's it. You're up to pressure. No need to tie it anymore. And that's it. We go below to drain it. Let's take this cap off. Let the oil flow so it goes down. The car is now a little warm, so it should drain easy. Okay, so now we're gonna drain the oil, and we're gonna take 8 screws out. These 8 to 4 here and 4 there. So 8 screws, and we're gonna drop this panel out. Here we go. There we go, and we use our number 8 for this. For all these little screws that are holding the panel. We'll put number 8. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna take our drain plug out, and we use our number 13 on it. It's right here. So when you took this panel out, it's all the way in the back, okay? you see the lower arm here coming from the front of the tire, and it's on the, if you're looking at your car from the front, it's on the right side, but it's really the left side of the car. But if you're looking at your car from the front, because you're walking on the front of your car, it's on the right side, on the driver's side. Okay, so we're gonna take this bolt out. It's a little too tight, but we'll fix that because we're gonna torque it. One thing you do when you're taking the oil out so you don't splash it all over the place is you hold your bolt down a little bit as you're taking it out. And I'm gonna use this just so I don't splash myself all over the place because the car's so high right now. I'm gonna put it right here so I don't splash it all over the place, but I'm holding the bolt in place. Right now the bolt is out. All I have to do is pull it away, but I'm gonna hold it. And this is one little trick so you don't splash it all over in there, but so you're gonna see, oh, at least I hope you can see it right now, but 1, 2, 3. There it is. Turning a little too fast. There we go. It's a little challenging with the car all the way up there. Well, you don't have to go through this if you don't raise the car like that. As I said, make sure you check the color on the color of the oil. If it's milky, make sure you get it checked. Or if you work on your own car, you can also check what's going on. Maybe a seal went bad. You have to take something apart, maybe the heads. These oil don't look bad at all. It's been there for 6 months only. Less than 3,000 miles. So when I took my plug out, I noticed that it was in really good condition. So I'm not gonna change it. I wanna keep it there. But I am changing the washer. Just make sure you change the crash washer. That's why it's called crash washer, because it gets crashed in there. So maybe you can get away with using it once again, but always change your crash washer, okay? You don't have to change the plug. I wanted to change it because I saw a little oil in there, but once I cleaned it, it looks really good. So I'm not gonna do it. I wanna hold it for the next time, maybe. All right, so we're gonna torque this. We're gonna torque it. We're gonna do it the torque spec is 30 Newton meters or 22 foot-pounds, okay? So let's do 22 foot-pounds. That's it. That's our signal. He's done. There we go. We're ready to put everything back. Make sure you clean it a little bit. Don't leave the oil dripping. Don't let that drip on your pan. Hold that cover. You don't have to do all these, but since I'm here, why not? Why not? Remember to always put these by hand first, then you can use your machine. That's it. We go back up, fill up the engine, and we're done. Okay, so now we're gonna add the oil. This car takes between 8.5 to 9 quarts of oil. So we're gonna start with one of these, which is 5 quarts or 4.7 liters. Okay. So we're gonna put this whole thing in before we add the Ceratec. Let's see. Okay, there goes one. We're gonna add the Ceratec, and what this does is protect your engine on the inside, so there's less friction between metals. There's less contact between the metals. Okay, so this is an additive. The oil already has some additive, so I'm only gonna add one of these. You're supposed to really add 1.5, but one I think is enough. Okay, so this is about less than a quarter of oil, but I guess half a quart. All right, so now remember 8.5 to 9 quarts. Adding this whole thing will be 10 and maybe another half a quart. So we have to leave at least 1.5 here. So we're gonna go all the way down to here. This will be a whole quart. And want to leave at least 1.5. And then we check the oil level. If we need more, we add more. But that's where we're gonna start. One more quart. There we go. That's 8.5 quarts out of those. And then we have the additive. So we got to account for this. It's more liquid in the engine. Let that drip a little, and we'll check the oil. Okay, as you saw, I was cleaning the engine bay with the same rag that I was cleaning the oil. That's because I like to keep the engine clean, and the way to keep it clean is with a little bit of oil. Nothing that's gonna leave grease on your hands. Just a little bit, and then you wipe it off. Okay, that's how I keep it clean. And then I had the car running for a little bit so that I could check the level of my oil. Okay, as I said before, you have to bring the car to operating temperature. I had it running for a while. I let the car cool off a little bit, a few minutes. Took my stick out and pull it in slow. Go all the way in. 1, 2, 3. Take it out. Let's see your level. Okay, we are halfway between the minimum and the max. Okay, you can check just one more time, just to make sure. And that's exactly where we are, just halfway through. Right now the level is good. It's perfect. If you want, you can bring it to max. I want to bring it a little bit higher. I'll put just a little more. Don't forget to recycle your oil, guys. I always say, if this is an oil, this is an old bottle from an old oil change for a different car. This is the one I just put in. So save this for the end, because you can put your old oil in here and recycle it. Take it to your local parts store. You can recycle these. They could take it for you, okay? Don't put it in any drains. Don't throw your oil and your sinks. It's bad for the environment. It's really bad. So please recycle your oil. Very important. Here we go. We're going to add a little bit more oil. As I said, you add it a little bit at a time. And we're going to go with about, we don't have 1.5 quarts, so we're going to go half of that. Half. A little more. That's it. You don't want to go too high. If you go past the max, make sure you drain that oil. You see that it went past, you have to drain it. There's no way around it. And if you have the pump, it's easier, much easier. You just pump some of it out. So it's good to have the pump also. Okay. I'm gonna close it. We're gonna run it again. Shouldn't take too long to warm it up right now. Let it sit for a minute, and then we check the oil again. Okay, so we run the car for a few minutes. We're gonna let it sit for another couple of minutes, and the reason we do that is we're mixing that new oil that is cold. Just went into the engine. That oil is cold. We're mixing it in with the hot oil, and eventually that cold oil is gonna get warm. It's gonna get mixed in there, and it's gonna go down into the pan. So let's check again. Let's see how our level is right now. Here we go. The first time you're taking it out just to clean it, because all the oil went up and down, it went all around. So right now the oil is settling in there. Okay, let's see. Okay, we went up a little higher, but that's it. We're not going to go any higher than that. Probably needs to go to the max. It probably needs another half a quart, less than half a quart, but we're not going to play around with that. As long as you are between the minimum and the maximum, you're okay. All right, that's perfect. Just make sure you clean you check your oil every once in a while, at least once a month. At least I like to check more often, maybe 2 weeks. Sometimes even a week has passed by, but and I check it already. I just never want my engine to be dry. Okay, something happened between oil changes. You never know. You never know. Something could happen between oil changes. So you want to make sure that engine is always lubricated. And that's it. Okay, now that the oil is changed, we're going to learn how to reset the system, how to reset the computer for the oil. Okay, and the first thing we're going to do is pull the start and stop button, just like that. Just pull it out. Then we're going to put the key in ignition. We're going to go to the second position. This is 1 and 2. And with that, we're going to enter the workshop menu in the computer of the car. So well, to do that, we're going to press the call and OK button right after you did that. So it's call and OK button. So I'm telling you, hold them in until you see the workshop menu. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to give you a close-up on that so you can see it. But you press them simultaneously, okay? Right now it might not pop up because, yeah, it didn't show because I didn't do it right after I did that. But I'm going to give you a close-up so you can see that. Okay, here we go with the close-up. Put the key in. Second position. Go back to first. Push and hold call and then OK buttons. Okay. Now we see that home menu. We're going to go down to Assist Plus. Press OK. Switch on ignition to activate Assist Plus. Then we go down to Full Service. Go down to Confirm Service. Service performed? Yes. And we're going to press Confirm. Okay, to confirm. I'm not going to press Confirm because, like I said, I'm going to be doing my oil change every 6 months. And I wanted to remind me, just in case I forget, the next 6 months, because that will be a year service. So, and that's what the car is set up for. So, since I'm doing doing it every 6 months, I'm not going to confirm this one, the interval. I'm not going to confirm. I'm going to press cancel. But if you press OK and confirm, you'll of course you'll confirm that you are resetting that system, and that's all you have to do. I will press OK to cancel, and that's it. So, and then all you have to do is just go back to this. See, right now it's in the workshop menu. We added that when we press these 3 buttons. call and okay. But it will shut off or go away once you reset the computer. Okay, so I mean, once you shut off the car, that workshop menu will go away when you shut off the car. We'll go back to our trip. I also reset the trip is now to 0 miles just so I have a count. But and to do that, that's when you heard that big um, that loud noise from the car. That was that beep. That's what I was telling you. It was resetting the trip. So very easy to do. Very easy to reset the system when you change your oil. Okay, so that's it. That's it. Very simple. Very easy to do. The oil change is the probably the easiest, the most important. Maybe it's on that list of the most important things to do on your car. The maintenance items on your car. Very very important. You don't have oil in your car, there's no lubrication, that engine's gonna blow. And you don't want to replace your engine or get your engine repaired, or you might even have to change your car sometimes. But don't forget to do your maintenance. I've stressed that. I don't think I've stressed it enough in all of my videos. You have to change your oil. And don't turn off the maintenance reminder and then forget about it, because there's I've seen cases where people just shut off the engine, the light reminder, the service reminder that tells you have to change your oil. They shut it off because they don't want to see the light and forget about it. 6 months later, the engine has no oil or the filter's clogged and you have problems. You run into problems. So make sure you do your oil change. If the service reminder came on, have it done right away or do it right away. Don't let time go by or shut it off. Don't do that because you'll forget. It's easy to forget. You shut it off. There's nothing to remind you. You have to change that oil. You have to change it. Two very important things. Be safe. You don't have to put your car on blocks like I did. I only did it for the sake of the video. You don't have to do that. And so you have to be safe. You just have to use jacks and stands, and then recycle your oil. Make sure you take that oil to your local auto parts, and so they can recycle it for you. Don't put that anywhere else. Don't let that drip on your even on your driveway. The driveway will get damaged if you're walking in your driveway and you let that oil drip on your driveway. It'll damage the asphalt, so and it will damage the cement also. So recycle that oil. Don't put it anywhere else than bringing it to the store. First thing to do, bring it to the store so they can recycle it for you. Okay, if you have to jack your car up, make sure you use stands. And to do the oil change, if you're doing it from the bottom, what you have to do is jack up one side, the driver's side, get in there, take that plug off, and drain it into a pan. And then you could, after it slows down, you could get out and put the jack down so that the car levels. The car has to be flat to be able to flush most of it. Like I said, you can't do all of it. You can't take all of the oil out, but most of it will come out. Okay, and then after it's all drained out, you could pick up your car again with the jack and make sure you use a stand so the car don't come down on you, and put the plug back. Make sure you torque it. So many cars have the same the oil filter. Many cars have the oil filter on top. Some Europeans, some Americans, some Japanese cars they have the filter on top, but some have it on the bottom. But it's the same thing. You just have to take that filter out. You have the torque spec, torque it. If not, just go by hand. Don't use any tools to put that filter in. You go hard, a little hard with just your hands. No tools if you don't have your torque spec. But that's it. No need for intimidation because you see a brand, because you see a different brand, because some of the shops don't even want to work on Europeans' car. And they said that that car is difficult, that engine is sealed, we can't touch it. Not true. All cars are the same. Whether it's an American car, European car, they work the same way. They're all the same. The maintenance is the same. This car has the filter on top. I have my other car that has the filter on top. My Dodge has the filter on top. So if you want, you can pump the oil out. It's very easy. If you're pumping the oil out, it's very easy, very simple. Probably in 20 minutes, the oil change is done. I took about 2 hours to do this oil change because I was lifting the car because I was doing the video on how to pump the oil because I was going underneath to drain that oil. But if you either way you do it, it's gonna be fast. So the easiest and faster way of top, of course, is the one from the top. You're extracting that oil. It's just simple. You don't have to lift the car. You don't have to worry about crawling under the car. But that's it. All right. So please make sure you remember to do that oil change. Don't forget about it. Don't skip it. If you do it more often, like I do, maybe I'm a little obsessed with it, but I don't want my car to be running with dirty oil, and I don't want my car to be running without oil. So check your oil every once in a while, at least once a month. Okay. If you create that habit of doing it every month or every 3 weeks or 2 weeks, it'd be even better. But at least once a month, check your oil. Okay. And that's it for me. Hope you liked it. Hope you learned a lot. And here I am. If you have any other questions, so put it in the comments and I'll get right back to you.